Welcome to the Fitness Directory podcast. Today I've got Nic with me. Nic's from Sleven Gym and he's also the owner of Gymsync. Thank you for coming.
Thanks.
You're welcome. So, first of all, I always ask all my guests, how did your journey in fitness begin?
Well, my journey began right back in 2009. Before that, I was really into sport. I think football was my main sport. I grew up in Spain, so obviously world champions now. And but yeah, that was kind of my main love. But then after university, I didn't really find my way. And then I found this thing called CrossFit back in 2009, very early days of CrossFit. And I was working in a bank at the time at JP Morgan. And I fell in love with it immediately. That team camaraderie, the performance side of it, I think was really interesting to me, because I think a lot of people, they'll do these team sports and then they go into these commercial gyms and then suddenly you're told to do bicep curls, and there's a complete disconnect from where you're taught sport in school. So was doing that since about 2009, and then I moved, and then I decided that was the industry I wanted to move into.
Brilliant. So left the bank for a life in fitness.
Basically.
For a healthier lifestyle.
for a healthier lifestyle.
Brilliant. No, that sounds amazing. So was there any defining moment that made you realize fitness was going to be your career?
I didn't have a defining moment. I think it was more I knew that I didn't want to do finance anymore. I think that was the thing. And then I didn't know if I had an idea that was going to change the world or anything, but I just knew that I wanted to go into this CrossFit space, this fitness space. I think there was something I was passionate about. I loved the lifestyle as well. And I wanted to kind of merge my lifestyle with something that, with my work and my career, and find a purpose. I think a lot of people lose that kind of purpose when they go into these corporate jobs. And so left the bank in 2016, was coaching at CrossFit London and what was known as CrossFit SE11. And a couple of years later, the opportunity came for me and Tim, my business partner, to purchase CrossFit SE11, which is now known as Sleven. And in November 2018, we bought the business, 1st of November.
Wow. So you survived through COVID as well.
Survived
My
through COVID.
God, you can survive anything if you survive that. Wow. So your first job in the fitness industry, was that a CrossFit coach or a personal trainer?
Yeah. So I did quit my job. I had already taken my level 1 CrossFit course, but then I also took my level 2, 3 PT as well. And yeah, want to get as many certs and get a lot more like certs in my back pocket, just because I think it's quite a low barrier to entry in the fitness space. And I think there's a lot of hours that you can do on the floor. So I'd already been coaching on and off for about a year or two at the gym. And I also think that like CrossFit functional gyms, these community gyms are the best place to learn how to coach, because you're constantly being coached yourself. So then you can learn obviously from that. But then but yeah, I think it's a great learning environment.
No, brilliant. That's great. And I think as, fitness professionals, there's always an element of having to evolve, keep up with trends, always just, keeping up with the education, science changes, fitness changes, and it evolves. So you have to just keep up with the times. So you have a lot of things going on at the moment in the fitness industry. Which one came first? So I think it was Sleven, and then you've got Gymsync. And then you've also got Boring Cardio Club. Yeah. And a few other things.
I would say Boring Cardio Club is a fun little extra. I think it's not kind of my purpose. So obviously Sleven now, we're almost 8 years into the project, and we've got almost 20 staff working for us now. And it's kind of its own big thing. And way we look at Sleven now is almost the platform for now where we're trying to launch these other businesses. So Gymsync is now kind of my big baby, and I'm really pouring kind of my time and attention into that. So what Gymsync is it's an inter-gym competition. It's based on ergs, so bike, ski, row. We have 5 events a year, and basically gyms run the same workout on the same weekend, and then they're all linked up by a leaderboard. So what we're trying to do is bring the excitement of, say, like a Hyrox or an Athex or these other competitions, and bring them into gyms. And then we're helping gyms then obviously sell tickets, bring in extra revenue, bring in referrals, have a kind of retention tool for their members, like these kind of spear points where throughout the year they can have people just come together a little bit and
create a buzz,
create a little bit of a buzz in their own gym,
and something for people to work towards as well, I suppose. I mean, you can go to the gym for many years, or you can have your same routine, and then you're like, why is this not working anymore? But when you have something that you're working towards and everything, it feels a lot more rewarding. But what inspired you to create Gymsync? I know obviously you've got all the elements of bringing other gyms and stuff together. Like, how did the idea form?
So we had another gym owner from up north near Newcastle and in Durham. Chris from Apex Ability Gym, he messaged me. He was like, hey, do you want to do this competition? And then we can maybe grow it out and stuff. So then we started kind of working on it and building out the idea. Then I got in contact with Steve at Team Aretas, who are also partners in the business, and they own a competition software they've been running for years that I had also, I'd known him since 2016 or 17 as well, and started to kind of leverage all the contacts that I knew. And then we were looking at like the different competition formats, and we came on this idea of this erg racing because I think the problem is at the moment is there's all these different things going on, and you've got the CrossFit, you've got the High Rocks, you've got gyms they're really small gyms, you have really big gyms, and equipment's an issue, judging's an issue, and space is an issue. So the format that we came up with for Gymsync was all erg based and then body weight. So what this means is it's really easy to set up for the gym owners. It's really easy to explain to the members. It's really easy to judge. And then that just means also that it's probably the most accessible workout in the world. So we have a 79-year-old Jeanette competing, and we have 12, 13, 14-year-olds as well. Yeah. And they're all doing the same workout. And I think that's really cool. I think that having such a wide gambit of participants is what we're trying to go for.
I'm not, shutting the tap to anyone. And I suppose you're trying to get a footfall through the door to the gyms, bring people in, bring people together. And when you start eliminating people by making it not appealing, or putting a stigma out there that, this might not be for me, even though you haven't said that it's not for them, they've already made that judgment that it's not for them. By taking that away, you actually encourage people to try as well, without feeling scared.
I think we're really proud that we can offer people their first kind of dabble into the fitness competition space. And we see ourselves very much, if you look at it, think about it like a pyramid, us being the base of that pyramid in the competition space, and bring as many people into it as possible, and then they can feed up that pyramid. So then if they did want to do a Turf Games or an Athex or a High Rocks or a CrossFit Open, CrossFit Games, then they can kind of start to move into this stuff. And we don't see ourselves as competition to any of these. We're actually working all together in the same space, and the stronger we are, then the stronger at the top of the pyramid it'll be, and vice versa.
No, that's what's so brilliant, because for so many years the fitness industry has felt so competitive against each other. You'd walk past the other PT in the gym, in the same gym, your colleagues basically, and you walk past each other with that kind of like cowboy stance. And now I think actually there is so much need to collaborate, especially when people are saying that the industry is, saturated. It's not really. There's enough for everyone to eat. It's just a stigma. And I think even if you did collaborate, and like you're saying, you actually do better with the kind of collaboration and trying to get everyone to work together, because you've got a massive ecosystem kind of thing working now, which is amazing.
I think, just to that point, and this will resonate with any other kind of gym owners or maybe PTs also that are stuck in the weeds, and you're just doing your day-to-day thing. You're always busy, but you're never kind of advancing. I think networking, speaking to other people in the industry, getting your head out of those weeds is gonna be life-changing. And it was life-changing for me as a gym owner. I have a huge network of gym owners, and now we're all collaborating and we're all learning things from each other. And like you say, the space is so big, we can all work and learn from each other. And I would definitely say if you can collaborate with people, if you can work with other people, learn, you're going to do so much better for yourself.
Exactly. And what's been your proudest achievement from Gymsync so far? You've obviously been going for 2 years now. So what's the most proudest moment and the biggest achievement?
I think there's a few proudest moments. One of them, I think, I did mention Jeanette, is a 79-year-old lady in Scotland who's doing our competitions with a masters team as well, and just seeing that happen. I think sometimes you lose sight of kind of how big it's getting and how invested people get in it, but then when on the competition weekends, when you see all the stories and how many people are doing this thing that you've created, I think I always take a second to pause and think, wow, this is
you have to, yeah.
Impacting other people's lives, and like this is the thing that we have all created together, and I think that's super cool.
No, that's really awesome.
Yeah.
So back to Sleven. I know obviously you bought it in 2018, but what was your reason behind owning your own gym?
I think I had worked in a corporate space, and I didn't want to be an employee anymore. I think I wanted to kind of have my own destiny in my own hands. And I thought I was interested in business. I like coaching, but I wouldn't say that it was my passion. I think that was more of a means to an end in kind of what I'm doing. And everything that I'm doing now, I could have never predicted that I would be doing this like 8 years ago. And I think that's some good advice we can talk about later in like career progression. But I think, yeah, I was like, I don't know what I want to do. I know I don't want to do this banking thing. I know I like CrossFit. I know I like fitness. I knew I wanted to open my own business. And the gym that was being run at the time, CrossFit London and CrossFit SE11, was a case study in how not to run a gym. So I thought, well,
shout out to these people.
Yeah. Well, they've all gone out of business in the CrossFit space. So I think like that says it all, really.
Enough,
but like, yeah. But that being said, CrossFit London was the first gym outside of the United States, the first CrossFit gym outside of the United States. And it was hyper successful at one point.
Wow.
And then I think it was never really run as a business. I think it was kind of this cult status sort of thing. And at the time,
it's difficult if you don't have people that have a business background, an operational background. It doesn't matter how good you are at a coach or how good you are as an influencer or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, the cogs will not keep going.
Yeah. And that being said, like we saw how I thought I had all the answers, but I mean, 8 years into it, I still don't have all the answers. I'm still learning. We're still trying to figure things out. Things aren't going right with some aspects of the business. So like we're always trying to learn and stuff. So yeah, it's not like I'm saying, wow, like I'm a master. By no means. We are definitely working our nuts off to try to make it successful.
Yeah, it's always like a trial and an error and a pivot. So you've got a really great community at Sleven Gym.
Yeah.
I've been there. I took part in your boring cardio club. I got beasted. I got humbled. So tell me more about your community. How have you managed to build that, and how is it so strong?
Yeah. I think the last 8 years has been about building these communities, but I think what's really important, I think, when you're building these gyms is you're almost building a political system. So you're building like what your vision is, and then you're trying to basically have people that see you eye to eye in your vision, and then also try to make sure that is then distributed out. So like whether it's Boring Cardio Club that's just my kind of offshoot thing. I just like doing these sorts of workouts. And then on Thursdays, I was like, I'm doing these long ass workouts, so I'm going to try to bring people to Sleven to do them with me. And now it's become a meeting point for other athletes, coaches, and other gym owners and brands and other people in the fitness industry. I also plan meetings around it, which is cool. So this week I've got a gym owner coming down. We're going to do the session, and then we're going to talk business. But so it's just such a good networking tool. But I guess back to what I was saying about getting your head out of the weeds. I think these are the type of things that whether you're a coach, whether you're a gym owner, I think these are ways that we can bring people together. And I think like building community and working with people, like it's so much easier to meet someone in person around an event like this than to WhatsApp them, and then if you need something from them, then it's just not the same vibe,
it's
is
a
it?
bit, you don't want it to be give and take. Take.
No.
And
it's not like you always need something for someone, but it's like, well, we can meet, and now we're on a podcast, and that's come from Boring Cardio Club, right?
It wasn't boring, no.
No, it wasn't boring. But then I guess from the Sleven perspective, it's like, well, this is what we think our community is like. It says on our front door, it's fitness made social, and it comes down to how we greet people at the door, and that's all the staff, to how we pair people up in classes, to how we want to personally get to know all the members. And I know a lot of gyms don't do that, for example. So these are all ways that we want to kind of build and create that social cohesion within our gym, and it has to be purposeful. It can't. You can have many offshoot communities, but what we're trying to do is obviously bring everyone together under one roof.
No, brilliant. No, I love your gym.
Yeah.
I really do. It's a little bit out of the sticks for me. I had to go cross country, and I'm joking, it wasn't cross country, but I had to go all the way from the middle of London to get there.
Yeah.
And it was definitely worth it.
Yeah.
Everyone was thriving. Everyone was coming in, high-fiving each other, patting each other on the back. People were setting up their tripods, like doing their content and stuff. And it was a very welcoming environment. I've never been there before. Hardly knew anyone. Didn't even know you, actually. And I just felt like I'd made about 20 friends by the time I'd left. And that's the kind of beauty of it. There's a lot of people out there that are feeling very lost. They want to do something different to their friends, their family, but they need to be socially accepted. And I feel like this is the place that they would have been socially accepted if they're trying to start their fitness journey and they want to be, encouraged and looked after, and, giving them a pat on the back as well, and encouragement. A lot of people are not getting encouragement that they should have these days, and therefore they won't try things.
No.
So it's beautiful. So the name, the Boring Cardio Club, where did that come from? And it obviously grabs people's attention. So how did you come up with that?
It used to be called EMOM Club. We used to do Marshawn used to put out these horrible workouts on Wednesdays. I think it was Mindset Wednesdays. I don't know if they still do that, but
I might have to look
there's all these old things that we used to do, and it was basically EMOM Club, Mindset Wednesday. So we were just doing all these like tough cardio based workouts, and then I think BCC is just basically an ironic version of like it. We're doing boring stuff, like repeats, but it's not really boring because we're actually doing quite a lot of different things. Like for me, boring would actually be like a 10K row. That is actually super boring. But because we're just doing ergs or some running or some burpees, then that's kind of the ironic sense of it. But I love it when it's just like, okay, you're going to do in a 5-minute window, I don't know, 800-meter run, and the rest of the time you're doing an erg, and then you're just trying to repeat and hit the same calories on that erg every time or something. And that's where the interesting bits come in for me on these style of workouts, whereas I think a lot of people will be like, oh, that sounds terrible.
No, well, it was completely the opposite. I have to say, you definitely packed that one up in some humour.
Yeah.
And what's the mission behind the movement? Is it some sort of movement? I mean, it's kind of turned into a movement slightly. It's become a bit of a Thursday cult.
With BCC, I think it's just more that. I think it's just a networking thing. I think it's somewhere for industry people to come together. It's totally free for industry. So all athletes, coaches, gym owners, brands, all this sort of thing. We want people to come down and to network and have a place to do that. It's 2 p.m. on a Thursday. So I get a lot of people saying, well, I work, I can't come. And I'm like, well, a lot of
take
coaches,
the day off, it's worth it.
Yeah, but a lot of coaches don't work at 2 p.m. on a Thursday.
Yeah.
They're actually, that's past that kind of lunchtime, class time. So it just is one of those things that I think when you're doing shifts like we do in the fitness industry, that people can come down. And like I said, we've got countless meetings, countless networking opportunities coming off the back of it. And it's been really cool.
No, amazing. So do you think making fitness more social is the future?
Yeah, and I guess that's what all my businesses are kind of doing. So Gymsync, obviously, I'm trying to do that at scale. With Gymsync, we're basically we're building two networks. We're building a network of gyms, and then obviously it's a B2C business as well. So ultimately to those athletes, but those athletes are all competing and now kind of networking and being brought together through the power of the leaderboard and the tech. So that is that's super cool. But then I think what's really interesting to me at the moment is also that network of gym owners and bringing them together and helping them run these events better, but then also how can we help gym owners get their heads out of those weeds, or how can we help them run their businesses better and just strengthen the industry in general, I think is super interesting.
Absolutely. No, I agree. So you are doing some campaigning at the moment for the government around gyms, business rates, taxes, you name it. Do you want to delve into that for me?
Yeah, so this is quite a big piece to unpackage, but we'll try to do it. We've got lots of time. So I guess we think if we go back, I guess Sleven is kind of like this platform, and then now we've got like Gymsync, where we're building a network of gyms. We've got Coaches Ed, which is another business that we run, which is also now helping gyms build leadership teams, helping them improve their coaching products at their gyms. And we're trying to bridge the gap on that kind of internship thing. So when you get your level 3 PT and then actually coaching on the floor, we felt that there was like a really big gap there. So
massive.
We're trying to build that out. And then I'm building all these things. And then what we're seeing back home at the gym with Sleven is that out of the 70K average revenue that we make a month, 13K is going straight out in revenue-based taxes. And it's almost 20% of everything that we make goes straight out the door. So whether we make a profit or not, and it's crippling for a low margin business. Well, obviously we have rent, central London. We're in Vauxhall. Obviously it's a high labor intensive business, super personal business as well. So lots of training to make sure that, say, how do we make fitness social? How do we get our coaches to pair people up and personally know people, and then make them feel part of something. Like all this that's a lot of training involved. And then obviously how do we coach them well? And so all these things kind of are coming together. And I think this is a few months ago, I think the turning point on the whole thing was the business rates just going from, so we were paying 16K a year in business rates in 2024. And then this year now we're paying 46K a year. And so it's our highest paid employee is the council.
Heck? Yeah, that's
and
great.
If you add on to that energy costs, obviously the employment costs, the rent, everything else that's going on, obviously the VAT, that was the straw that broke the camel's back. And we're seeing a lot of parallel campaigns, whether it's in hospitality. So obviously you see the That's the Problem campaign going on right now, led by Tom Kerridge. So it's very interesting that all small, medium-sized businesses are kind of going through the same thing. And I don't think this is a conspiracy theory that the government is X, Y, or Z. I think this is just more about
facts.
It's just more facts. I feel like the tax architecture it needs to be modernized for basically where we're at the moment. And I think we're all moving to everything digitally, and there is a space for brick and mortar, but I think that brick and mortar needs to have, especially for small and medium-sized enterprises, I think, like within our campaign, we're looking at gyms that are under 2 million revenue a year, which sounds like a lot, but when you have obviously your taxes, all these other things that are going on, they're still small businesses, but that all these businesses kind of that are in this bracket, that they have an easier ride in building, scaling, and building teams and creating a business that has longevity, rather than what's characterized in the industry, especially in my space, in these CrossFit and functional gyms and Hyrux gyms, is the gym owner does everything for 5 or 10 years. They get tired of doing it all and they just sell up, but they essentially are the business. And what we want to do is have a legacy, right, where they hire people and there's a full-on career for people to have, like, that they learn and they progress, and they can have a mortgage and they can have families and all this sort of thing. But at the moment, the fitness industry is characterized by being a young person's game. And I think, interestingly, I'm saying all this from a business side of view, but like our business helps people, right? So like the more businesses that we can have that help people get physically fitter, mentally fitter, find their partners. I had various weddings come out of my business.
Oh my God, like Love Island, isn't it?
Exactly. Exactly. But that's why we need brick and mortar is
somewhere to go to.
Somewhere to go to, right? And if, at the moment we're seeing like 3 hospitality businesses closing a day. I mean, that is adding
really
up.
Scary.
It's scary, isn't it? And we don't have the figures on the independent gyms just because we're such a smaller business, but we're trying to get those figures. And I think we're delivering preventative healthcare, right? So the NHS 10-year plan came out this year, and they're talking about how do we get people to not come and use the hospitals as much or use healthcare, right? And if you think about kind of like a spectrum, you have, say, fitness on one side, that's the opposite of sickness. So the more we can get people onto that fitness side, rather than they're being chronically ill, then we're going to be obviously using the NHS a lot less and
people need to be more
right?
aware of their bodies as well. Like the information online is so conflicting that they do need to come to somewhere that can give them the right information, bespoke information. Not everyone is the same. What might work for Jeanette might not work for, Susan. Yeah. So you can't just look at the NHS website for information that you think is going to fix you. No. Or call 101 and they think without even seeing you a phone call, they can tell you what your problem is. Yeah. So this is why it is important to have these gyms, also to have these communities for mental health, which is also another burden on the NHS. And, the amount of time that you're waiting for some of these things to be resolved, they could go away. In the time that they've come to you, gone to your gym, they're actually nearly cured.
Yeah. But I mean, think about it, right? Like we're kind of the first rung of like fitness professionals. We're teaching people how to train, how to lead healthier lives. I think like the nutrition aspect is super important as well. I mean, all advances I feel like in nutrition are coming out of the fitness space, because obviously we're not just trying to fuel ourselves for just to live a healthy life. You're trying to fuel yourself for sport. So you're maximizing how you fuel up. You learn about carbohydrates. You learn about the importance of proteins. You learn about fats. You learn about how to track your food, how to like what's good to eat, what's bad to eat. Where obviously I think in outside the fitness space, there's all these like diet fads, but most of these things, like try going on keto and then doing like endurance sports, like it just wouldn't work. Like, but I feel like what we can teach people about diet, about nutrition, about training, about lifestyle, like, because I think that's what we're selling at the gym at Sleven, is we're selling a lifestyle. And I think a lot of people, and I think the fitness industry is characterized a lot by fast fitness, just like fast food, fast fashion, fixes. Right? How many people do you know that are like, I just need to get fit for summer, or like...
Yeah, well, why not the rest of your life? Yeah, what the hell?
Right, because you're not just going to get fit for summer. You need to make it a part of your life that you enjoy. That, and I'm not just selling my style of training. I know that this style of training...
I'll turn people away if they come to me and they ask for summer. I said, no, you're not taking it seriously.
Yeah, but whether you want to do yoga, whether you want to do Pilates, whether you're talking about paddle, whatever is going to get people to move more and be happy and healthy, I think these should all be encouraged in whatever way people want to do that. But yeah, I think we're kind of that first line of defense. And if gyms are closing down, and there is a space for the commercial gyms, there is a space for these cheaper gyms that you know, self-entry, you just do you. There definitely is a space for those gyms, and we're not campaigning for or against them, because the more gyms that we have, the better.
They're opening every week. Yeah,
a rising tide lifts all ships, right? And interestingly, we go through all the stats and everything. So like the fitness industry is booming, but
doubling in size nearly every year since COVID, right?
Yeah, but but it's booming amongst like a small select amount of chains. So like I think Pure Gym accounted for 40% of gym openings in 2024, 2025. So that's great. But what we want to see as well is that coach gyms, for example, also have a place here, and small businesses just do not have the same resources that these big businesses have, and obviously
they cut corners. They can't offer the layer of support that every person might want, or specific people might want. That's the difference. I mean, what other things maybe can an independent gym provide that commercial gyms can't provide? Can you think of anything?
I think belonging. I think that you can obviously do like a personal training at a commercial gym, but I think the style of training, I think the level of coaching that you're getting, I think is much higher in my experience. I think a lot of PTs at commercial gyms, it's a lot more focused on kind of transformations, whereas I think what we're looking at Sleven is we're trying to teach them skills. We're trying to teach them how to properly squat, or how to properly deadlift, or to do an overhead press, or any number of different things, and teach them well so that they do have that education for life. So we're not looking again for that kind of quick fix and just get them on a machine and do their leg curls so you get bigger quads.
The
but like
machines.
obviously they will get the benefit of that if they're doing the free weights, but it's kind of like a longer period to kind of get that fit quick. But we're hoping that actually people are coming away with so much more value as well. And then obviously I think those personal relationships is the massive thing. So yeah, I think to sum it up, like that education, that belonging, and then obviously having a place where you've got mates and you can go in any day of the week and meet with people and have a fun time.
So you're campaigning at the moment for some help from the government, or for them to listen. What exactly are you asking for?
So we're not asking for any handouts. What we're asking for is a chance to grow and to survive. I think at the moment it's more a bit about survival, but we basically have 3 pillars. The first pillar is to reduce, the overarching goal is for the government to recognize us as health service providers. So for example, the leisure center down the road, they have an 80% relief on their business rates. They don't pay VAT. And that's true across leisure centres across the UK.
Wow.
Chiropractors, physios don't pay any VAT as well. So because they are obviously health providers, but usually a physio is more reactionary than they are preventative. So, we're, like I said, we think we're kind of on that preventative side. So we just want to be recognized for the kind of the work that we're doing and the things that we just spoke about. So, and then that falls across 3 pillars, which would be then as preventative healthcare, looking at a discount. We have a special discount rate for gym facilities where we offer this coach fitness, that we get a discount on the business rates, then on the VAT as well. So at 20% VAT, we're on the upper end compared to the rest of Europe. So most countries are looking at the VAT rates being below 10%. So like Ireland, for example, Germany, I think Norway. So quite a few countries are kind of under that 10% rate. And well, the government obviously recognizes like leisure centers as being preventative health. So we're basically just using the same language the government's coming out with. We just want now recognition of it. So that's the second one. So we want to bring the VAT rate down to 5%. So then that will make services cheaper. It just means we'll be able to employ more people, grow the pie, really, is what we're trying to do with that. And then the third one is not necessarily an ask of the government, except I've got some bits in there on maternity leave, but very much what's happening now in the fitness industry is we're seeing a drain in that human capital side of things. So we're seeing a cycle of 1, 2, 3 years of people in the industry burning out quite quickly and moving out. And we want to provide careers for people. And I think the system needs a little bit of a shift. So whether that's something like on maternity leave, which is something we've seen as well, is how if you're a coach and you're waking up at 5 a.m. and you're a young woman and you're doing all these hours which are quite unsocial, how are you going to then like have a family and
sustain a family
and you know, the fitness industry is much bigger than just coaching. And I think like I'm quite passionate in trying to get people. I think coaching is going to be one of these first steps into the fitness industry. And I think it's the job of gyms or anybody else that's kind of running these businesses to have other options for people to kind of move into, because I don't think most people, unless they want to become like a coach of a coach or they go down their own route on the online side of things, that most people don't last for 20, 30 years like you would like an accountant, for example.
Yeah.
But I do believe that people go into fitness industry because they love fitness. So then like how can we offer opportunities for people to then move into other roles in the business so that then they can have a family? But there needs to be a business there for them to move into. And that's the problem, I think, from a lot of independent businesses, which is that those roles aren't available.
It's such a shame. Like even myself, I'm 27. I dibbed and dabbled 2 years in, 2 years out of the fitness industry, probably since just before COVID.
Yeah.
COVID happened, couldn't work in the fitness industry, gyms are closed. What can I do? Got bills to pay, need to survive. Then I ended up teaching personal training courses. And I saw the flaws from every single angle. Flaws on the gym floor, flaws in the education of fitness. And this is why now I do the work that I do, because I'm like, what the hell is going on? You know, this is the industry I want to be in. A lot of people want to be in. And they're just like, I can't, you know, stand the way that it is at the moment. Like things don't make sense. There's just chaos everywhere. But I'm so passionate about it and I love it. And it draws me back every time. And then I have to have a break. And then I come back and then I have to have a break. But, you know, this is where we have to get things right now, because every year it does boom. It gets bigger and bigger. People are, you know, Pilates now. People are paddle now. It's absolutely booming. People are more aware of their bodies and their health more than ever. You know, the drinking percentage, you know, the alcohol sales are going down. The gym sales are going up. That says something. So, yeah, we have to come up with a way that we, you know, standardize the offering of, you know, the recruitment processes to the career paths, also how much it costs for these gym businesses as well to operate. So everything needs to be revised, really. I mean, this is really important. Otherwise, you can't keep the doors open. But there are other problems as well that also need to be looked into. Yeah. So
I think just, sorry.
No, sorry, carry on.
But to your point, it's is how do we create an environment where like you're drawn to fitness because of the lifestyle, you're drawn to because you love it, right? But then that's not going to pay your bills, it's not going to help you have a family, but it's just like it's a cowboy industry in a sense, right? Where you could do a weekend course and on the Monday you could be coaching a class, and I think that there's something really wrong with that.
For the same wage as the cleaners.
But that's the thing though, right? And then people are like, well, it pays so little, but the problem there is twofold, right? Is there's such a low barrier to entry for something that is actually it's quite high level. Like you need to say from a coaching perspective at Sleven is like, how do you manage a class? How do you confidently deliver this thing? You need to know how to coach, how to cue, deliver movements. You need to be able to spot flaws, make sure people are doing things in a safe way. You need to make sure that they're having fun. You need to have charisma. You have to so
You're
many
asking
different
for a lot of people.
So many things. So like a lot of people will see, well, I just did this weekend course, I can do this thing. But no, there's a huge gap there, right? Which can take months of training. But then who's delivering that training? Each of the little gyms, they're doing all their things. So there's no kind of standardization of how we deliver that. But then I guess back to your point is you keep getting drawn back to the fitness industry, which is that's also a problem, right? Is like people are willing to work in this industry for less money because it is fun, because it is rewarding, because you are helping people, because
you feel fulfilled.
There's so much fulfillment.
I'll go and do something that pays me double, can work 1 year to save me going back to crap money.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, that was a hell of a year. And then I come back to fitness and I'm like, I had to do that. Otherwise I couldn't live.
No. But also I think like the bad operators or the bad coaches are the ones that bring it down, right? But everyone starts as a bad coach when you have no experience. But how do we then nurture these people to become good coaches? But then we're seeing that human capital drain in the industry where after 2-3 years, people are burnt out. They've learned so much, but so like say you're a PT that does tons of hours on the floor, you're doing 8 to 10 hours on the floor for 2-3 years straight. You have helped countless people, but you personally might feel unfulfilled in the sense that like, what do I have now to show for it? Like, have I built skills in business? Have I built skills in any number of different things where other careers you might then progress up a ladder? Yeah. But this one is only just more like, well, my next option would be
more hours
or to go online and try to scale it. Yeah. But then you need to learn the skills of how to market yourself, how to film, how to all these sorts of things, which are never taught. So I think for me, and I've spoken about this before, like coaching is always like that entryway into the fitness industry. And I think it gives people a lot of tools, but then I think find yourself somewhere where you can grow, and like whether you want to go into a business, say like Gymsync, where we're dealing with gyms, but you have to understand workouts, you have to understand how gyms operate, you need to understand how the industry works. I think you can only really do that if you have some sort of coaching background, or if you wanted to go into events, or you wanted to go into fitness retreats, or like if you want to host a podcast on fitness, you need to know about fitness, right? So I think
need to know a little bit about something.
Yeah, you need to know about all this stuff. So I think like the industry is vast. I think that coaching bit is that first step into it, and then it's like, how can you grow out into all these different things?
No, I think that's actually really important what you say on that there should be some sort of progression, because I think that is maybe what turns the tap off for people. They go, oh, I've just done my personal trainer course, and they only thought that the gym floor or working in the gym was their only option. And then they start looking to be estate agents or recruitment or whatever. They just go out the industry completely, when actually there should be more open conversation about, okay, if you've done your year or 2 years in a gym floor, actually you might be able to work in Gymsync and be able to, outreach to gyms and tell them about what you do and sign them up. And that's like a business exec kind of role. But I think people just they're not aware. They're not aware because there's no education. No one's talking about it. And I suppose that's kind of why I do the work that I do, to spread awareness that actually there's all sorts you can do in fitness. And I think a lot more people do need to talk about it. And also fitness businesses need to also say, well, we would require someone with 1 year, 2 year gym floor experience, and then you can come and jump on with us, or this is our requirement. And then it kind of would push the algorithm to those ideal people, I suppose. Yeah.
I completely agree. And like I said earlier in the chat, I would have never have expected to be doing what I'm doing 8 years ago when I started the gym business. It was all about the gym, but now doing all this stuff. But that's because I network with people. I want to learn. I want to build. And like we've got amazing kind of contacts, and we've done amazing things with such big brands and stuff. And like all those connections are now like vitally important in everything that we're doing with Gymsync. And sometimes when you're in the weeds or you're deep in what you're doing, you can't really see past that and like what opportunities you're creating for yourself. But I just think it's like, keep building, keep working, and then all these things that you would never have expected will happen. But you need to make sure you're putting yourself out there, that you're meeting the right people. And I think that has been a complete change for me, and it's accelerated a lot of things.
Yeah. What's beautiful about fitness professionals, and I see a lot of CVs, I sift through CVs hundreds and hundreds a week. And one thing that stands out to me is how adaptable fitness professionals are. And I'm so like passionate about shouting about it, because I'm thinking, 1 minute you were an accountant, and then now you're on the gym floor and you're like screaming to people to get down, do burpees, and you've got the charisma, you've got the energy, the personality, you can, count reps, you've got good form. Like, they are so talented adaptable, flexible. Like, every company should be like screaming out to like hire these kind of people, because they will just do whatever you ask them to do. You know, the normal person that hasn't done fitness or has no background in personal training will be like, oh, that's not in my contract. You know, I'm not going to do that. I've never done that before, so I'm not going to try. But something about fitness professionals is, yeah, I'll give that a try. I'll have a go and I'll see how, you know, that goes, and a trial and the error, and they can produce some amazing things.
Yeah.
So it's incredible. It's a really incredible industry to be in.
Yeah, I agree. I think like one thing that we talk about a lot with the staff at Sleven is about having initiative, and this attitude of like, that's not my job, it is not something we really like at the gym, which is, well, we need to learn how all of us are doing our jobs, and we need to learn about like, Harrison's doing our sales, but it's incumbent of all of our coaches to work on sales and to share the information with the rest of the team, because we need to know who's coming through the gym. We need Harrison to have all the information, but I don't want Harrison to have to call up the trialist after 2 weeks and ask them how they've been getting on. It should just be all the coaches up until that point speaking to that trialist, knowing how they got on, knowing their journey, selling it on, and then obviously Harrison's there to obviously aid and make sure everything and manage that process. But like, that's kind of one aspect of kind of what we're trying to do. But yeah, anyone that's like, well, oh, that's not my job. Well, you're in a small business. It's everybody's jobs to kind of help out and muck in. But then like, compensation only comes through creating value. And if you don't create value, then you're not going to be compensated for it. So I think like a lot of the time you do have to throw yourself in, into the deep end. You have to do things that you probably don't want to do or you don't know how to do, right? I get that a lot. I don't know how to do this. Well, learn. Like, I mean, I built businesses where like I've got to learn how to film things, do Photoshop, like learn how to
the butcher, the baker,
like
the candlestick
the website,
maker, everything,
waivers, legal stuff. Like,
if you don't know, you've got to find out.
There's about 1,000 more things that I can't just like talk about now, but like there's a gazillion things that I just have to learn, right? And if I don't learn it, then it doesn't get done, right? So I think if everyone kind of has that attitude with how they approach things, then
it's their personal development.
Yeah, because a lot of times you might think, well, I'm doing it for another person, but you are actually learning. And then actually, like, if you develop yourself in a way,
you'll be compensated.
You will then have value to me to then be like, well, hey, why don't you come do this? We're building this business. You've taught yourself how to do all this thing. Do you want this opportunity? Wow, fantastic. And I think that's how you build yourself up. And I think a lot of people right now, especially in the industry, they're very much focused on like, what's my hourly wage? Do I come in at this time? What time do I leave? And they're not thinking about the bigger picture.
Nothing more, nothing less.
No.
Yeah.
And the bigger picture is something that you can't see at this moment in time, right? And I think whatever that thing is over the horizon, you just need to be confident that will come at some point, but you just need to keep plugging away.
Exactly. Rome wasn't built in a day.
No.
Amazing. So, what trend do you think everyone should be paying attention to right now in the fitness industry? What
trend? Well, the functional fitness trend, I think, is the trend that I'm in at the moment. I think, well, it's a self plug really on Gymsync, but I think where I think the run clubs have done really well, I think that's where we're kind of now trying to capitalize with the ergs. I think the ergs are super accessible. Lots of gyms have them. Simple isn't easy as well. I think that's the cool thing. So I think we can bring functional fitness to mass markets, and I don't think it's just for gyms. I think we can bring it to corporates, we can bring it to universities, kind of in the same style that Parkrun has made kind of running accessible to the masses. I think we can make gym accessible to the masses through Gymsync as well.
Brilliant. No, that's amazing. So that's my next question. How do we make and encourage more people to exercise who currently don't?
This is an interesting one because exercise is hard. Get people to pay money to do something that's hard that they probably don't enjoy is difficult. But I think trying to find that enjoyment and however you find that enjoyment is really important. So I find enjoyment in exercise by doing it with and suffering with other people. And I think that's how I really like it, whether it's like boring cardio club, whether it's a Gymsync or just general CrossFit, which I fell in love with. So how do you get yourself to enjoy that exercise? And I think that's where a lot of people think, I've got to get back into the gym for summer, and there's something they just keep putting off, but they don't make it part of their lifestyle. And not every session will be fun, but I think if you find ways in doing it with other people that it is done in a fun way, that you enjoy that kind of progression and that journey. And it sounds really corny, but like the goal is not like that ripped body or anything else. It is about that journey and how much enjoyment you have while you do it.
I think, a healthy mind is probably more important sometimes than having all the abs and the muscles.
Yeah.
So, personal questions. As a business owner, or multiple business owner, what's your daily routine look like? Like, how do you have time to do all these things?
It's chaos.
Do you have a PA?
I don't. I've been talking a lot about getting PA. So we're currently in a seeding round for Gymsync, but I think that's one of the things that I want, either a VA or a PA. But things get dropped. I'm late to things like today, like this podcast. I think especially since launching the campaign, it's kind of added an extra kind of level to it. But one fun thing I think is the Sleven day-to-day piece. I think we are currently moving everything onto AI right now at Sleven, which is really exciting. So it just means that my day-to-day input will be a lot less, and I'll just be able to kind of still have an involvement, but it means I can focus most of my time on Gymsync. But it's a lot of chaos, it's a lot of calendar, it's to-do lists and all that sort of thing. But one thing I'm trying to do before I even move to a VA is just have everything just through AI, just have a running to-do list. And
my to-do list is from there to there.
Yeah. But I want something better than just me putting something in notes.
I know, me too.
Well, how do you manage day to day then?
Oh my God, I don't manage.
No.
I need like therapy every day just to like get by.
Yeah. I think for me, it's always what are the most urgent things, but like I would love to be able to do more deep work, more kind of just sitting down and development work. And sometimes it just feels like I'm just there trying to survive, make decisions, move to the next thing. And
and sometimes I make a decision and I'm like, no, not like that.
Yeah.
Because I just didn't give context. I didn't give clarity. What do I expect? And I never learn. I just think, they'll understand what's in my head and what I mean. And then it's just never the same.
Yeah.
But being a high functional kind of entrepreneur, it is hard to get yourself organized. And before I've even finished one idea, I'm thinking, oh my God, what about this? And I'm like, no, not yet, not now.
Yeah.
But this is all part of the game.
Yeah.
So do you still enjoy training as much as when you started now?
Yes, but in different ways. So I think I was full CrossFit at the start. And I think I'm 41 now. So I think like getting older as well, I just don't enjoy that high intensity aspect of the CrossFit classes. I do them every once in a while.
I
but
don't enjoy it now. I feel I'm going to have a
heart
attack.
Yeah. I just think like CrossFit is really hard, and I think that is what really got me into it. But I think now, as I've learned a little bit more about fitness as well, is I really enjoy like the strength training side of it, and then obviously I like the running and the cardio and the ergs and all that sort of thing. So I'm like we do a track club at the gym now in Battersea Track every Tuesday. So I was there this morning with the crew, and like my girlfriend's trying to get me into cycling now. And like,
what does she think? You need more things to do?
Yeah, exactly. God. Yeah.
But I'm gonna have to have a word with her.
But I think I think it's more about like that is like what can you do with your fitness, and I think how can you express your fitness. And what's really cool is like we're fit and healthy, and you say you go on holiday and they're like, oh, this is a really tough hike, and you just know that for us it's not going to be like it'll be all right, but like it's not going to be this thing that the average person's really going to struggle with, and we can just kind of get through and have a nice time.
I think that's really what most people's definition of fitness is, to be able to do their daily activities without feeling like it's too difficult. For us, we take it to a different level though.
Yeah. No, that's true.
So what's your favourite workout then?
Oh, I don't know. I think like I've always enjoyed the gymnastic side of CrossFit, and I don't do it nearly as much. But like a Cindy, like 20 minutes, five push-ups, five pull-ups, 10 push-ups, 15 squats, is a lot of fun. But like I think now I love all the erg and the cardio stuff as well that's coming in. So all the stuff that we do in BCC, like the Gymsync style workouts are kind of what I like too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, I hated cardio back in the day.
Yeah.
I actually don't mind it now. I don't know what happened. It's like my taste buds.
What's your favorite workout?
I really love the ski yoga. I don't know why. I'm a bit sick in the head.
Yeah.
But then obviously I play tennis.
Yeah.
So I don't like the weight training anymore.
No.
I used to smash weight training. I used to be like a women's strength and conditioning coach. I was like this. And then I decided actually I can't function on a tennis court like this. I feel like, I don't know, like Wreck-It Ralph running around the tennis court. I'm just not functional. I'm just not agile anymore. And then I changed my training completely to the more kind of like CrossFit hybrid training. And now my tennis performance is much, much better. So
nice.
I think
you still do your strength training, but just not in the same way.
Yeah, so not in the same way. It's
like
more like endurance.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what is something that people don't know about you?
Oh, a lot of people ask me where I'm from. So I've got
This is a good question.
Yeah, I've got a confused accent. So I grew up in Spain, but my mother's British, my dad's American. So I went to an American school in Spain, British school as well. Wow. So I've got this kind of international school confused accent. But
like
most
a cocktail.
People, yeah, people are like, "Oh, are you like Irish? Are you Canadian? Are you American?" And
I'm whatever you want me to be.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm not. I'm not bashful about it.
And who has inspired you the most in business?
Well, why don't we say this? Like, so my dad was an entrepreneur. So my dad actually started business in Mallorca in the 70s and 80s, renting mopeds to tourists, and then he started a M&A firm in Madrid, again in the 80s. In the 80s in Spain, and he's an American. I think, seeing the hours he put in. I think, coming home from school. He wouldn't come home till 9, 10 p.m. at night every night, like the amount of hours that he was kind of putting in, but then always put time and attention to us. He would always take us to like football games and stuff on the Saturdays. And like all the networking that I'm doing now, I see myself, I saw him doing it. So like, obviously he's like taking his kids to the football, but also all the other dads are there that he's networking with and stuff.
Always talking.
He's always talking. He was always talking. He was always trying to set up meetings or find people that
always
he can do.
Hustling.
Always
even
hustling.
With the kids.
So yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I just I love that networking aspect. I think that personal connection I've probably taken from him.
Brilliant. No, that's really nice. So, where do you see Sleven in 5 years from now? You've already done 8 years.
Well, I don't know. It'll be interesting. I don't want to give too much away, but like 5 years is quite a long time, and I've been involved.
Not with the government with your campaigning.
No,
maybe.
I think maybe the government will shut us down. But no, I think it'll be interesting. I think that the next few years will be very interesting, right? Because I think the more I move into Gymsync, there's going to be and it's a vacuum I'm filling with the team, but like. I think there's a lot of opportunity to do a lot of things with Sleven and to grow it and to progress it. It's just going to be interesting to see how the team take that on, and I'm very excited to see it.
No, that's really good.
Yeah.
And you sound like you've got a really great team around you that they support you. They support all your other gym ideas and fitness ideas as well. So you've really managed to get a great amount of people that back you. How have you managed to find such a great team?
Well. It's tough. I think it's when you are finding people for these leadership roles, we call it a vibe check at Sleven, and I think that's how we hire. Is we want people that want to be there and that see eye to eye in that vision, and there are people that won't see eye to eye in your vision, and there are people that you probably hire that you make that mistake on.
Yeah.
But whether it's Laws was our first hire, she's still with us. 8 years into it, 7 years into it. Jules right now, she's kind of running the show a lot. Obviously, Tim, my business partner, but Carol on the full time, Harrison we just brought on, but like we've got people that have been with us for quite a long time, and I think it's finding people that see into that vision, but then I just think it's becometh of the business owner to try to create those opportunities and figure out a way to keep people interested. And so Mitch, for example, he's working with us in Gymsync. He started as a coach with us, but now because he demonstrated X, Y, and Z, he's doing stuff through Gymsync, and there's a potential bigger role for him in Gymsync as well as we continue to grow. So that's super exciting. I think that's something that really it makes me passionate as well.
You should be proud, because that's a credit to you as well.
Yeah,
that you're doing something right. But a lot of things right, to be honest. You're doing a lot of things right. You keep doing what you're doing. So if someone watching wanted to get involved in any of your projects, where should they start?
You can join my gym. If you want to become a fitness professional, you can get in contact through Coaches Ed. If you want to join a Gymsync event, whether you're a gym owner or you're an athlete, just then obviously reach out through Coaches Ed. If you want to get involved in the campaign, whether it's you've got contacts in government or think that you can help in some way. I get a lot of people asking me, especially on the campaign, how can I help? That it's not useful to me unless you can tell me specifically in what way that you can help, or like, Nick, I want to be able to, let me introduce you to this MP or something like that. But I think at the moment I don't have the ability to manage people on the campaign sort of side of it. And I appreciate anybody that does try to reach out and say, hey, I want to be involved, I want to help. But I think at the moment I don't have the ability to kind of do all that. So if you do want to help on the campaign, amazing. Just let me know how you can help, and I think that'd be super useful.
Brilliant. Last question. So what's the biggest goal that you're chasing right now?
I think this seeding round for Gymsync, I think, is going to open up so many opportunities. I think it will help the business grow to the point where we're hopefully serving hundreds of gyms, thousands of athletes, and I think we see we don't have limits on Gymsync in terms of like the scalability of it. The things that are limiting it at the moment are the capacity that we have as a business. It's a volume business. It's really cheap for gyms to get involved. It's cheap for athletes to take part, but that means that we just need lots of people, and we need a lot of gyms to take part in it. And the beauty about Gymsync is it's a self-serving business. So like the more gyms that run it, then the bigger Gymsync gets, then more partners, more excitement, and then that brings on more gyms, and then that brings more people to gyms. So everybody wins with the model, and I think that's where that's the super exciting thing about it. And like it has no limits. It's just like how can we get to those points? And I think the seeding round will help a lot with that.
Brilliant. No, that's really interesting. And thank you for telling us about everything that you're doing. It's incredible. And I'm going to put all your links below so that everyone can see where they can find you and all your multiple businesses. Brilliant. Thank you so much for coming, Nick.
Cheers. Thank you, Carla.
You're welcome.